Sneakers, check. Socks, check. Hoodie, check. Shorts, check. Nike, check. I done made about a million. Icy, water dripping on the white tee. And shorty got a man, but she saying wife me. I got chest coming in like a pair of Nikes. If I like it, then you know I'm finna get it. Get the bag and then I flip it. Watch me do it. All them on my wrist going stupid. Tryna put them on, but they never do it. Going up sky high while I'm rocking Air Force. And she just wanna ride, shorty bad and gorgeous. She was rocking straps and it's alright. Then I cut her off, shorty stepped on my off-whites. Okay, now wait. Gotta get the bag and racks every day. Don't tell me to relax, I can't, I'ma say. Got a new Prestos and a Jason on the way. Got a new good spots where they don't take time. Might pull up on a hop if it's up too high. And they wanna play ball, hit a 3-point shot. Or this my court, got a block on lock. I done made about a million and I'm only 19. Icy, water dripping on a white tee. And shorty got a man, but she saying wife me. I got chest coming in like a pair of Nikes. If I like it, then you know I'm finna get it. Get the bag and then I flip it, watch me do it. All them on my wrist going stupid. Tryna put them out.
I feel like a prince, I'm feeling myself.
Today's a work day, gentlemen, and you know what that means? We gotta get better today. What I wanna know is, who's ready to work? I'm ready to work. Are you ready to work? If you are, then go out and prove it to me. Show me what you got.
Everyone, quiet.
Sometimes you need a phone, one that keep your eyes open, keep you on your toes. You know the one that keep you where you've been before. But I can't go, no I can't go. And whoa, sometimes I need a check, not the sneakers, but the ones that make you watch your step. You change your name, how about your respect? Getting more than what I get, expecting at the back. In fact, you know I sat down with my accountant, he said I got good news and I got bad news. I said, what's the good news? He said, the good news is you made a lot. I said, what's the bad news? The bad news is you spent more.
What do you think?
I've been grinding since a young and they told me my timing was coming. I've been hustling with no fun and forget all the fame, get the money. I'm out in LA where it's sunny. I've been eating since a young and since we ain't have food in our tummy. That's what was doing. I take out the funny. We got on my mama, my daughter, my cousin, my brother, our shit.
Here we go. Quiet.
Y'all ready? They ready? Come on. Y'all ready?
What do you think?
We ready?
Here we go. Quiet. What do you think? Everyone, quiet. What do you think?
fellas, there's not a whole lot I can say about that performance today. We have high aspirations as a team. If we want to get there, we got to raise our game. Because if we repeat what I saw out there today at our next practice, it is going to be a very long season. We can do better.
There we go. Wide eight. Wide eight.
I mean, you had a great day today. The game is really starting to slow down for you, isn't it? I can't wait to see what you're going to do on Sunday. Good job.
Never cap, out of the trap, watch me vibe, soon as I snap.
Hey, hold up. We need to talk about what you just put on film, man. You are a leader, and people look to you to set the standard. The eye in the sky don't lie. No one is going to be inspired by today's film. We know that. Pick it up.
What do you think? Everybody, quiet in.
Let me breathe for a minute, man.
What do you think?
Let me breathe for a minute, man. Just let me breathe for a minute. Just let me breathe.
Quiet in.
It's too hot, drop the top off the wagon. Lay back, fire like that. Man, I'm flying back. Feel like I ain't that savage.
Here you go. Quiet in. What do you think?
Fellas, there's not a whole lot I can say about that performance today. We have high aspirations as a team. If we want to get there, we got to raise our game. Because if we repeat what I saw out there today...
Hey, yo. Nike check. I done made about $1 million and I'm only 19. Icy water dripping on a white tee. And shorty got a man, but she saying wife me. I got checks coming in like a pair of Nikes. If I like it, then you know I'm finna get it. Get the bag and then I flip it, watch me do it. All them on my wrist going stupid. Tryna put them on, but they never do it. They like, hold up, wait a minute, like don't make sense, don't really get it. I'm steady getting to the chicken, that chicky finger licking chicken. I mean, I'm getting to the good guap. Keep a rack in my socks. Diamonds cost me a lot. Nike check up all of my socks. Hey yo, Nike check. T-shirt check. Sneakers check. Socks check. Hoodie check. Shorts check. Nike. I done made about $1 million and I'm only 19. Icy water dripping on a white tee. And shorty got a man, but she saying wife me. I got checks coming in like a pair of Nikes. If I like it, then you know I'm finna get it. Get the bag and then I flip it. All them on my wrist going stupid. But they never do it. Going up sky high while I'm rocking Air Force. And she just wanna ride, shorty bad and gorgeous. She was rocking stripes, said it's alright. Then I cut her off, shorty stepped on. Relax, I can't, I'ma say, got a new Prestos and the J's on the way. Got a new style, so don't take time. Might pull up on a hop if it's talking too hot. And you wanna play ball, hit a 3-point shot. Well, this my court, got a block on lock. I done made about $1 million. 19, I see water dripping on a white tee. And shorty got a man, but she saying wife me. I got checks coming in like a pair of Nikes. If I like it, then you know I'm finna get it. Hit the bag and then I flip it, watch me do it. All them on my wrist going stupid. Tryna put them on, but they never do it. They like, hold up, wait a minute, like don't make sense, don't really get it. I'm steady getting to the chicken, that tasty finger licking chicken. I mean, I'm getting to the good guap. Keep a rack in my socks. Diamonds cost me a lot. Nike check up all of my socks. Hey. Hey yo. Nike check.
Today, from AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas, It's week 2 of the NFL on EA Sports. We'll see Dak Prescott and the Dallas Cowboys taking on Matt Ryan and the Atlanta Falcons.
We are sandwiched between Fort Worth and Dallas, Texas, and Arlington at the luxurious AT&T Stadium. A moment ago, here was the scene with the Cowboys emerging from their tunnel. It was loud. It's still loud. We're ready for football as the Cowboys get set to match up with Matt Ryan and the Atlanta Falcons. With Charles Davis, as always, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And Charles, you talk about storylines in this one. I think it begins and ends with our two quarterbacks, certainly two of the best in the business.
And nowadays, I don't think you can get by for long periods of time without a top-flight quarterback. The way the game is played, with all the responsibility he has and how the game flows through him, if he's not on the top of his game, your team's not going to benefit at all.
And out a little across the 25 to the 27. Time for Dak Prescott and the Dallas offense to go to work. Prescott, of course, the former fourth-round pick in 2016 out of Mississippi State.
You hear so many discussions about Dak Prescott. Is he one of the top quarterbacks in the league? Is he still ascending? What does he need to do to get there? All I know is that when he's in control of the Dallas offense, they were #1 in the league last year in terms of yards per play, and he was second in the league in passing yards with over 4,900. This guy gets it done, and his team really likes him as their leader.
Now the first carry for Ezekiel Elliott. Number 21. The numbers for Zeke from last week. 2 trips to the end zone and well past 100 yards.
And going back and watching the film, we saw every kind of run from him, didn't we? We saw some power, we saw finesse, we saw speed, and what I love the most, he finished each and every run.
A good position to be in here, 2nd and inches. Prescott now. And he'll hit the slant route. That's caught by Cooper. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. That one good for a first down pickup of 18 yards.
I don't care who you put on him. He's going to be a handful in one-on-one throws.
Yeah, right now you're right. They're in man-to-man. Maybe need some safety help.
I would say that'd be a good idea. Double team him somehow. I'm going to have to make someone else beat me rather than let him shred my defense.
Back-to-back good plays have him on the move on first down. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. A good gain again. That's now 31 yards combined on those last 2 plays. That opening drive rhythm continues right into play number 3.
Whatever they decided that they wanted to run before the game, it's working pretty well for them right now. Moving the ball downfield at a nice rate. And guess what? I think the chain crew might have to get a little oxygen over there. They have to keep moving downfield with first downs on each play.
So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. Now it's a bootleg with Prescott. On the crossing route, he hits his man, Amari Cooper. And he gets this one inside the 15, just a yard or 2 shy of the 10.
1st and 10.
A good pickup there, 21 yards. From down at the 12, it's 1st and 10. A first down carry by Elliott. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Cowboy touchdown. Ezekiel Elliott, his 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Cowboys take it all the way down the field and score on the opening drive. Heck of a start to his season. He had 2 touchdowns in the opener last week, another one here in week 2.
Well, I don't want to call him a touchdown machine this early, but sometimes you get locked in, and you feel good about things. You get into that zone, and those touchdowns come in bunches. He made
like he was shot out of a cannon. I would imagine success this early, great momentum going forward for the rest of the year.
He keeps this up, they'll soon be chanting MVP anytime he touches the ball.
Interesting. I mean, they're putting their foot on the gas here early, going for 2 to go up 8-0.
Well, after that drive, you have to believe that they thought to themselves, if we can do that, what's another 2 yards? Let's go get those and get 2 points as a result.
The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. And they'll watch this one fall in the end zone, and that'll be a touchback. Matt Ryan, the longtime Falcon, a veteran who's been in the league since 2008, ready to guide this Atlanta offense.
This past offseason was one where the Atlanta organization continued to build around their quarterback, Matt Ryan, because he can still throw the rock. 5th in the NFL in passing yards last year with better than 4,400. He's a guy who knows how to get the ball to his guys on the perimeter and take care of it even when he's under duress in the pocket. Sacked 48 times last year.
Ryan will bring the Falcons up now 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. Here's a throw, complete right side to start things out. And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves them with 2 to go on 2nd down.
8 yards on the pickup.
The numbers for Julio in last week's effort. 8 catches, 102 yards.
And in the preseason, I thought he was primed for a big, big year. And week 1 did absolutely nothing to diminish those expectations.
To throw again on 2nd down, Ryan. And, boy, that one drops incomplete, but if he was hit a fraction sooner, it may have been a fumble. So we'll look here at the key inactives, and we got this list before the game down on the field. They tell us the same thing every time, don't they? Next man up.
No excuses. Be ready to play. That's the mantra of every organization. The key is having guys on the roster who are capable of filling in and playing at a high level. That's when you know you've drafted well, scouted free agents well, and stocked your team just the way you're supposed to.
And he's going to have the 1st down at about the 38. A gain of 5. 1st down, Atlanta.
Plenty of things to talk about here, partner, but to me, their defense gave up a touchdown on the first drive. How about how they're responding, coming back? That's a big 3rd down pickup to keep their drive alive.
Three tight ends in the ball game here on 1st and 10. Play action. Ryan. And he will go down. A Cowboys sack. There for the sack, Emerson Griffin.
There's a lot of discussion in the offseason about him having a big year and getting to the quarterback. They held him without a sack in week 1, but how about here? Finally gets his first one of the season.
In the offseason, said he changed his diet, leaner, feels so good this year. Excited to see what type of a season he can have. Now, following the sack, they'll look to make amends on a 2nd down and 17. Out of the gun, it's Ryan. And he's going to go down again. Emerson Griffin able to get in there for his 2nd sack of the afternoon.
Okay, let's go back a little bit and see if my schooling comes to the front. What's that old saying? Those who forget the lessons of history are doomed to repeat them. That's the same guy who's gotten back-to-back sacks. I think a double team may be in order.
So the sack pushes him back, and now 3rd and long for Ryan and the Falcons. Ryan. And the pressure gets to him again. Tyrone Crawford. That's now back-to-back sacks, and it brings up 4th down. And that is the 3rd sack this offensive line has allowed this first quarter.
Man, that puts him on pace. Let me do the rudimentary math here. To be sacked 12 times in a game, I know he's not going to go for that. I wonder if it's going to reshape what they decide to do on offense in terms of play calling.
Well, I can tell you what, when he popped up, shaking his head, frustrated right now behind center. On 4th down, the Falcons trot out the rookie punter from Syracuse, Sterling Hoffrichter, standing just outside his own goal line. Only 2 punts for him last week in the loss as he gets this one away. And taken right on the 30. That's a 49-yard punt, 8 though on the return. And the Cowboys will take over the football with a 1st and 10. Zeke and the Cowboys ready to begin their next drive. Last week, a strong showing, up over 100, also 2 trips to the end zone.
It's the kind of week that if you said, listen, I'll let you have this type of a game each and every week, you'd sign up for it. You wouldn't try and get too greedy. But let's face it, good runners always want to be a little bit more greedy at the end, try and squeeze out every last yard. He's going to try and duplicate that and exceed it in this game.
He's got a 1st down and then some at midfield. And he'll get this down to the 39-yard line. 23 yards on the pickup there and a 1st. A tough run by Ezekiel Elliott, the 4th overall pick in the 2016 draft.
If you watch tape of him in college, you saw plenty of those runs because I know the highlights showed him in the open field breaking away from people, but that's how he wore down defenses, those exact type of runs.
And lucky to get away with one there. That one nearly picked. 2nd down.
2nd and 10.
I think he's got to be careful not to force anything into coverage right there. There weren't really any throwing lanes, but the best part for him, he's got 2nd and 3rd down to fall back on.
On 2nd down, it's Elliott. And he's out of bounds, almost gets to the 10. A gain of 28 yards there and give him a 1st down.
Well, they came into this game saying it was important that they set the tone and show that they can run the football. And I believe that they've done that here in the 1st quarter.
Now a 1st and 10 at the 11. A 1st down throw for Prescott. Looking end zone, but it's incomplete. Amari Cooper, his intended receiver. That'll bring up 2nd down. So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down. The give is to Elliott. And he was able to shed the tackle, but the reserves come in for the stop. He'll get only 3 there, so it leaves him with a 3rd and 7 ahead. Falcons. Not a whole lot there. The defense was ready, it looked, for that run-pass option.
You get the sense that next time he has that opportunity, he may keep it himself and get to the perimeter. Probably owes his back a little bit of an apology on that one, huh?
On 3rd down, Elliott. And this effort won't be enough as they rally up to stop him a couple of yards short. Call it a gain of 4, and it'll bring up 4th down.
A 4-yard gain. It's 4th down.
The offense is not leaving the field. They're going to stay out and go for it on 4th and 3. Running with Elliott. And he will take it in for a Cowboy score. Ezekiel Elliott with his 2nd touchdown here in this 1st half. And the Cowboys will extend their lead.
There's not much that's perfect in football, but that's about as close to it as you're going to get. Score, force a punt, score again.
And both drives were impressive. The opening drive was, that last one was. Now on the other side, though, what's your psyche? You're really behind the 8 ball.
You got to make sure to just hold in there. Survive the early storm, relax a little bit, and try and get back to your game plan. It's way too early for panic.
They'll let Elliott try and run it in. And he is in to make it 16-0. I think we're sensing a trend here. 2 first-half touchdowns. After going for 2 after the first score, CD, I thought maybe they would kick the PAT here. No, they get 2 more.
No, they decided to really press the advantage because, remember, getting the 2 after the first score, you've already got the other team back on their heels if they're going to mount a comeback. But to go up 2 scores and 2 two-point conversions, you've really got them thinking on the other sideline.
Here's Oliver. And a decent return out to the 27-yard line.
1st and 10 at their own 27-yard.
It's player spotlight time, and we focus that spotlight on the quarterback, Matt Ryan. And I guess the question, Charles, is what's the formula for keeping him better protected? Because as we see, the protection, it struggled.
And normally what you get is renewed determination. When the big guy gets hit, that usually sparks people. Hey, we can't let this happen anymore. They take it personally. He's not supposed to be on the ground, but that hasn't been the case so far in this game. So maybe they've got to figure out how do they get rid of the ball faster to help out the offensive line so he doesn't get hit as much.
And we'll see if they can keep him off the ground now going forward. Tackle made by Emerson Griffin.
No gain on the play.
Those are the plays this defense needs with the deficit they're facing.
It certainly is, and they've got to continue to swarm the football and hope that someone, while they're holding up the ball carrier, can get in there and rake it and lock it free. They need to get some takeaways as well.
2nd and 10. Play action. It's Ryan. Looking deep for Julio. That's caught inside the 20. And he takes this down deep on the Cowboys side of the field.
It's a gain of 53 yards.
Excellent execution, and now they're set up nicely.
Are they ever? Red zone? I wonder what the next play call is going to be, because after a big play like that, a lot of teams like to use the momentum to launch another one.
So here's a 1st and 10 now down inside the 20. Ryan's throw caught by Jones. That catch good for only a couple.
My next teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks, because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target. He's so good at that, isn't he?
I think he knew right away that he wasn't going to get to his primary guy. I think he read that as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage, knew where the pressure was going to come from, and said, I know how to beat that, and that's what he did.
Meanwhile, on 3rd down, they take a shot at the end zone, but it's incomplete.
What we've seen so far in this game, they are not going to allow a big shot over the top. You can have whatever you want underneath. They'll give you that, but they're not going to let you beat them deep.
Vinatieri's kick is good, and they'll at least get on the board here, still trailing, but 16-3 now. So the drive stalls out inside the 15-yard line, but they do get 3.
And I've talked with enough players nowadays, and when they have these types of kicks, that no one says to their guy, hey, that's just like making an extra point, piece of cake. Because the extra point is not a piece of cake anymore. But kicking a field goal from that distance, just give him confidence and let him knock it through.
Cowboys take over 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
Zeke and the Cowboys ready to begin their next drive. So Prescott and the Cowboys now with a 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. A nice-looking play to start the drive down the middle and complete. And they work this well upfield across the 45. So one. Play, and they're already just shy of midfield. They'll run on 1st down. Elliott shrugs him off. He's got the 1st down and more inside the 40. And finally taken down at the 20-yard line. Last play they went over 20 yards. This time they top 30.
Boys
That type of run right there, that just fires me up when I watch it because that's maybe the most underrated aspect of his game. The ability to break tackles and know where the first down chains are and pick them up.
He's tough, good pedigree. Dad Stacy was a linebacker at Missouri.
And how about Mom on the track team? So I think that's where the speed came from. And she's not shy about letting us know that, too.
Yeah, I got the best of both worlds. And incomplete there, almost picked off. That's one you maybe expect your roaming free safety to come up with. But it's second down.
You're down 2 touchdowns. You just know defensively you absolutely have to come up with a big play. That nearly was one right there.
Looked over at the sideline immediately after the drop and just saw the dejection. They felt it. They thought he had it. Unfortunately, couldn't come up with it. And able to get this down inside the 15 to either the 13 or 14 before he's out of bounds. They get 7 out of that, so they're left with a 3rd and 3. Well, lots of praise on this drive, obviously. I know you're seeing what I'm seeing. Those guys up front, they're getting it done.
Doesn't matter what play is called. They are handling their business at the line of scrimmage and dominating right now on this drive.
And he gets the first down yardage he needs before he's brought down at the 6-yard line. 2 minutes remaining in this first half of football. A reminder, coming up at halftime, we'll head to Orlando. Standing by there, Jonathan Coachman. He'll have stats and scores from around the NFL in his second week. And he will fight his way into the end zone for a Cowboy touchdown. Ezekiel Elliott on his way to a monster game. 3 first-half touchdowns. And the Cowboys, they push out in front further. So simple math here in the first half. They've had 3 drives offensively, and they have scored every time, and they've got the lead.
Well, whenever we talk about adjustments, we usually talk about an offense making adjustments, right? This is all about the defense. They've got to figure out some way, somehow to slow them down. Do they blitz a little bit more? Do they play more zone coverage? Right now, they don't know where to go because they're hitting them in every direction.
They'll let Elliott try and run it in. And he is into the end zone again as he scores both the touchdown and the 2-point conversion to extend this lead. And they're able to ground it in there on the 2-point try. And you and I were talking before the game. The 2-point conversions from the 15-16 season, what has changed, what hasn't changed, partner?
Yeah, I'll tell you what's changed is just your normal strategy, because now you're either kicking the football with the ball on the 15-yard line, or if you decide to go for 2, they put it on the 2-yard line. So what are you thinking as a coach? Do I risk it? Do I go for it here? Do I try and gain a strategic advantage and maybe go for 2 early? That's what people are wondering about.
25-yard line.
A reminder, still some good games coming up here in Week 2 of the NFL. Later tonight, a rematch from that Super Bowl a few years back. New England visits Seattle up in the Northwest. And then on Monday night, we'll be there. The first regular season NFL game ever played in the state of Nevada. The New Orleans Saints and the Las Vegas Raiders from Allegiant Stadium. That should be something. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off by the linebacker, Jalen Smith. And they are going to set up shop at the 32-yard line.
Well, this is a defense that can confuse even the best of quarterbacks with their zone schemes. And here you've got a linebacker that's going to stay at home and just sit down in that zone. And this one basically comes right to him.
From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. On first down, it's Elliott. And he'll be out of bounds as he gets this down about the 21 or 22. Seemed like Dak certainly made the right read there to hand it off to Zeke.
When you have those 2 in the backfield, Dak Prescott at quarterback, Ezekiel Elliott at running back, you've got a symbiotic, synergistic relationship that puts a lot of defenses in a lot of stress.
I got to tell you, I've never heard synergistic before, but I guess that works, right?
It does on this game.
2 yards, good enough for a first.
Good. Brandon, you know that expression? He just does what he does. It sounds trite, doesn't it? But in this case, it's perfectly apt. This is one of the better runners in the NFL. And all he does is just find avenues, find ways to pick up key first downs and big runs.
Darquez Denard there to make the tackle. Maybe I'm wrong, but it looked like even if he had opted to keep that, I don't think there was going to be much to gain.
Seemed like it was perfectly defense. And know what they say? Those guys on the other side, they get paid too.
And incomplete. He tried to leave it underneath. Nearly got picked. They may be lucky to have that one back. Third down. An incomplete pass on second down. That muddles things a little bit here. This is 3rd and 10. Well, this is going to depend on the spot, but it's not a very generous one. He looks to be about a yard or so short. And the move from Mike McCarthy is going to be to keep the offense on the field here on 4th down. They're going for it. It's 1st and goal after they rip off a solid chunk of yardage in the ground game on a risky 4th down call. Boys, the type of game that he's having running the football, there was no doubt who they were giving the ball to.
So why didn't they just go ahead?
And he'll get in. Touchdown, Cowboys. Ezekiel Elliott on his way to a historic performance. 4 first-half touchdowns. Then the Cowboys will add on to their lead. And that rushing touchdown, his 4th, puts him just one shy of the NFL record in a single game.
And we all know he would love to get to that record and even beyond it, but he doesn't need to in order to impress in this one, does he? What a performance. What an absolute great game that he's had here in this one.
Now Mike McCarthy saying, let's go for 2. They'll let Elliott try and run it in. And he is into the end zone again as he scores both the touchdown and the 2-point conversion to extend this lead. And so they run it in on the 2-point try. You know, so often, Charles, we talk about from the offense's perspective what you do on the 2-point conversion. How about the defense? How do they play run versus pass?
It's really difficult for them because I think most teams want to play for the pass. That's what they see most teams do. And so are you able to mass enough people inside if the team decides to run it? Very difficult. I think what you're seeing a lot more now, people blitzing the 2-point conversion. They want you to make a quick decision and make it right now.
There, the offense wins the battle for 2. And he'll get it up across the 20 to the 21-yard line.
At their own 21-yard line.
Here comes the Atlanta offense now ready to take over here. We're under 20 seconds to go in the half. I'm guessing the wise play here is be safe.
That is the wise play because if you think about trying to fool them here, here's what you're facing. You're facing a loosened up secondary, playing a lot deeper than normal. So even if you run some type of misdirection, you're only going to fool them for a second or so. And guess what? They're so deep, they're really not going to be out of position. Take the knee, get to the locker room.
And an anxious moment or two there, but they do get him down. The Falcons going to use the second of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 13 seconds to play in half number 1. So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33.
Here we go, let's bring it. Let's go, let's bring it. Let's bring it.
From the gun, it's Ryan. It's complete to Laquan Treadwell. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. Now a timeout. 7 seconds left in the first half. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Short throw underneath to Hurst. So we've come to halftime after a very one-sided beginning to this one. As we'll get you over to Orlando, where standing by is Jonathan Coachman. He has our EA Sports halftime report.
Okay, Brandon, we'll get you back to you and Charles in a bit. But first, it's time for a trip around the NFL following an eventful opening weekend. Let's see what's happening in Week 2. We'll begin in the Windy City, where the New York Giants have made the trip to take on Chicago. And it's the Giants who are out in front in the second quarter. Sterling Shepard, a touchdown reception. From there, we'll head to Pittsburgh to check on the Steelers at home at Heinz Field. And they trail the visiting Denver Broncos in that one. Jarius Wright, 2 touchdown catches on the afternoon. Finally, let's get to Philadelphia. Check on the Eagles at home at Lincoln Financial Field. And they have the lead in that one over the visiting L.A. Rams. Carson Wentz has thrown a couple of touchdown passes there. In the game you're watching, you've seen a strong first half out of Dak Prescott. His guys have the lead as we'll hand it back over to our commentators, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. It'll be Falcons football, and they trail here as we get back underway on EA Sports. Here's Oliver. And he won't quite make it to the 25.
Falcons take over 1st and 10 at their own 24-yard line.
Atlanta prepped and readied for its next possession. They trail offense, first time to touch the ball in quarter 3, and we'll see what they can do.
And I can't wait to see what they have planned, because some teams script to start a half. Other teams just go, okay, these are the sequence of plays we want to run. These things worked well for us. And sometimes they throw in that big chunk play right away.
Shocker.
Try and get after them early and try and create a big play to give themselves some momentum.
See what they have up their sleeve. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch. Able to get 7 on that first down pass play. 2nd and 3. On the handoff, it's Gurley. And he stopped immediately there. He got maybe a half yard at most, but officially they'll be left with a 3rd and 2.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority, because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
And he will have a first down as they get him to the ground at the 37. The pickup of 5 yards. First down, Atlanta.
Well, they certainly have been able to get him going and establish the run, so I think it's time to abandon that plan and start chucking it all over the park. And you know who's excited about that? The defensive front. They got a chance to pin their ears back and get after him now. Well, coming into this one, we expected that this offense would have trouble with this defense, and that's exactly the way that this game has gone. Pressure in his face. Coverage downfield has been tight. That led to another incompletion. This defense, they're exactly who we thought they were coming into this one.
And he went nowhere. Well, he went backwards, back to the 33.
Tackled back at the 30.
Boy, how good has this defense been seemingly all game long?
I really think right from the first snap, I think you're really onto something there in this passing game.
It got his man complete. Touchdown, Falcons. Julio Jones, his first touchdown of the new season, and the Falcons get a bit closer. Well, if they're going to make a game of this in the second half, they need a few big plays to go their way. That's one.
And the way to get it done is to also conserve time. So to your point, that big play right there, now you're not moving the ball downfield, taking time off the clock. You're leaving yourself a better avenue to continue to try and make a comeback.
And he's able to put it through. So that drives 6 plays, 75 yards. And the end result, an Atlanta touchdown. And here's Vinatieri now to kick it away after the touchdown. And this carries into the end zone. And ultimately cannot get this out to the 25-yard line as he's dropped at the 23.
Over 1st and 10 at their own 23.
The Cowboys offense now, they head out for their first possession of the second half. Still operating with a comfortable lead despite the score a moment ago as they begin 1st and 10. So Prescott of the Cowboys now with a 1st and 10 at their own 23. Elliott on first down, going to get this back to the line of scrimmage, but that's it.
I know the scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker. What that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. The previous play, they barely got back to the line of scrimmage. Now they pick up over 30 yards.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time, and making it work.
And he gets it inside the 35 and just shy of the 30. 15 more there, and they're on a roll at It's another first down. It's been a remarkable day at the office for him running the football. Those yards just continue to pile well past 100.
And how about more than double-digit carries in the second half alone? That's what you want as a runner, because you've got to prove to your offensive line that you're going to be as tough as they are. They don't rotate in and out on every play. Running backs often do, so those who can stay out there with their offensive linemen, those are the guys they really value.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. They'll run on first down. It's Elliott. Up from his linebacker spot, Deion Jones making the play. He decided to hit it off that time on the run-pass option.
Appeared to be an easy decision. Just gave it inside. Nice steady gain.
On second down, Elliott. And give him about 3 as he gets it down to the 22-yard line.
Well, praise has to go to the guys on the offensive line because they've had a very nice, productive day running the football. How about that poor defensive line? They've been knocked around the entire game, and while they slowed them down on that run, can they continue to do so? Because they have...
And he is into the end zone for a Cowboy touchdown. 22 yards, and the Cowboys will extend their lead. And he just tied the NFL record on that 5th rushing touchdown. He's the 6th man ever to do that in a single game.
And, partner, did you just say that he tied an NFL record there?
Yes, sir.
I mean, we're talking 5 touchdowns on the ground against an NFL-caliber defense.
Is that good?
I'd say that's fantastic. What a game for him.
It really is something. We are watching quite the effort. They'll let Elliott try and run it in. And he will get into the end zone again. And he seems to have a nose for it as he gets both the touchdown and the 2-point conversion. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. Here's Oliver. And he gets it out to the 25-yard line. Flag down. This could set him back. Well, that holding call set him up with not great field position.
Not at all when you tack on the penalty. With that field position after the return wasn't terrific. It's not a great starting field position as well.
Now this one into the hands of the tight end, Hayden Hurst. They get him to the ground right on the cusp of the red zone after a pickup of 5 or 6.
Gain of 5 brings up.
That's a nice throw out there to the flat, but they defended that pretty well. The hope is to go ahead and put it on him so he can turn and get upfield and gain additional yardage. There just wasn't anywhere to go on that play.
Airing it out, looking for Ridley. Oh, this is taken in. It's complete. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. That one good for 37 yards.
First down.
Now, look, you're not going to be able to get this all back at once, but that certainly helps.
So you're saying 3 yards in a cloud of dust, not the strategy?
I go aerial attack.
Yeah, I think that's what has to happen. And if you're going to run it, you need to break off big chunks. We just saw a big play right there. They need plenty of those.
And that is going to do it for this third quarter of action. You are watching the NFL on EA Sports. Throwing now, Ryan on first down. Ryan hit, and he lost the football. And it's picked up by the Cowboys. And his guys will set up shop at midfield at the 50-yard line.
And with that kind of a deficit, you can't afford to make any kind of mistakes. But it's been pretty symptomatic of what we've seen all game with them, isn't it? Down this big in the fourth quarter.
You'd say an afternoon to forget, absolutely. The Dallas offense back out onto the field. And they have to be feeling pretty good. Comfortable fourth quarter lead as they take over following the fumble recovery. So Prescott and the Cowboys now with a 1st and 10 right at the 50-yard line. They're going to snuff this play out behind the line. We have not seen that much today.
Brandon, it's clearly a running situation when you're up in the fourth quarter. They're going to have to stack the box and make it difficult for them to move the ball.
Made it very difficult right there. Now they need to repeat that effort.
Yeah, bring 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take to slow them down.
And no room to maneuver there. Give them a yard up to the 47.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where there'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
Trying to cover Cooper there a little too closely.
And it's such a tough cover because he runs his routes so well. Hard to stay with him and hard to figure out exactly where the break points are. And in this case, he created another pass interference call.
After the penalty, it's Elliott. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. On this day, the ground has been his, but at least on that individual play, we just saw the defense finally with a win.
Yeah, they finally got one, and that's a win for them, but all game long, he's seen the holes, and they've been huge for him. Kind of like a baseball hitter in the zone. The ball seems bigger, and he's just whacking it. These guys, they've got it going today.
At the 15-yard line.
The Cowboys on third down. They've hit 2 for 4 thus far. This time they face a 3rd and 2. And he gets the first down yardage before he's brought down just outside the 10 at the 11. And they have the first down with that gain of 4 yards.
Brandon, when a defense just simply can't get off the field on third down, and we all know how important that down is for both sides of the ball, you often feel like you're just a step behind whatever they're doing offensively.
And one of the differences in this game, no doubt, third down conversion, and that is going to be a story they'll talk about after this one. And he ran right through one tackle as he fights forward for a gain of 7.
Down at the 4-yard.
Well, partner, I know this type of running back. I mean, this size, this intensity usually gets better as the game goes on. I just tell you from experience, the first few quarters, oh, you're eager. You come running up there, I'm going to tackle.
And he will take it in for a Cowboy score. Taking it in from 4 yards out. And the Cowboys use the short field to their advantage as they cash in for 6. They seemingly just continue to score at will. And as great as it's been for the offense, you got to feel for that defense down there.
And I love how you use the word will, because both teams came into the game with the will to win. But one team has obviously imposed its will on the other and broken them. Because what we're seeing right now, wow, that's a defense that's in tatters after what they faced in this ball game.
So Dak will bring the Cowboys up to go for the 2-point try. And he is into the end zone again as he scores both the touchdown and the 2-point conversion to extend this lead.
Well, I guess when you're hot, you're hot. I mean, I would just go ahead and take the extra point and move on, but apparently they've got something to prove. Almost feels like something was said this week, and they wanted to make sure that they laid it on them in this game.
The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away.
The Falcons take over 1st and 10. At their own.
Atlanta now coming out on the field. And the turnover last time, that's sort of been symptomatic of their struggles here in this one.
Big word. I like it now, because you're exactly right.
Like that, don't you?
All game long, they've struggled moving the ball, turning it over on the last possession. Is that what is symptomatic?
Yeah.
I like that.
Your analysis, symptomatic of the success of this broadcast.
What I like is that you gave me the word, and I just kept using it.
It's a gain of 9.
Nothing fancy on first down, but a very consistent type of a play. Hit that slant. A lot of people call it an extension of the running game, and it can be if that pass is completed, because you hit a guy on the run like that, he often can go for big yardage.
Sets him up nicely for 2nd down, staying ahead of schedule. The intended receiver was Laquan Treadwell, and it's 3rd and short. The Falcons on 3rd down. They've converted 3 out of 5 thus far. They need just a yard here. It's 3rd and 1. It's caught by Treadwell. And he gets it down to the 48, enough for the first. It's an 8-yard pickup and leads to a new set of downs. On 1st and 10, it's Ryan. This one caught by Ridley. And he'll get it down here to the 43. And we are inside of 2 minutes left in this lopsided affair. So it's Falcon football as we welcome you back. They're looking at second down now as they search for a consolation score. Now left side on the swing pass. And he'll go out of bounds after taking it a little further down inside the 40. 7 yards there and a first down.
For a second there, I thought that might break big. Screen pass. Looked like it was coming together. Looked like there was an opening. Still, ended up with a solid game.
Now Ryan on first down. He completes it to Treadwell.
Ryan's pass.
7 yards, the pickup there. Now you've got to hustle your guys to the line and get them set. And that one's complete to Gurley. And he's able to get it to the edge of the red zone at the 20-yard line.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, defense.
Well, we looked at each other right away. We knew that flag was coming out.
And I always enjoy the conversation post because officials always tell you, I don't want to throw the flag, but you caused the play. You did it. I had to.
His pass caught at the 4. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. Second and right at a yard.
Just about every quarterback is trained to really look downfield first before you come back and make a nice, safe throw. And in this case, that's exactly what he did. Found his running back.
Ryan hit, and he lost the football. It's picked up by the Cowboys. And he returns it here to his own 18-yard line. And I don't know that that fumble is going to matter a whole lot. You look at the deficit here in the 4th. It doesn't matter. The coach on the sideline is still scratching his head.
Yeah, not only scratching his head, but probably writing a note or two about, we're going to address this come practice next week because maybe that's the reason we're down this far. Doesn't matter at this point, but being sloppy throughout the game, not going to help him improve.
So from inside the 20, here's 1st and 10 at the 18. Prescott. Give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6.
I feel like I could see what he was thinking on that carry. Wanted to follow that big tackle through the hole. Ended up only getting 4 yards on the carry. I think he had designs on that one being bigger.
Letting one fly deep for Cooper. And that's going to wind up incomplete. However, we do have a flag down. Let's check in with our referee. This home crowd, they're happy with that call.
I like the way you said happy there, right? The so-called good guys didn't get a call. They feel like it's been that way all afternoon. You feeling their pain?
They finally got one.
Yes, they did.
So the big play gets him across midfield now for 1st and 10. And he's dropped right at the 40. Gain of 3.
Give credit to the defense for stringing that play out, and they gave up no cutback angle. You know he was trying to dart through. No place for him to go. A nice job there, only giving up a 3-yard gain.
The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7. The give to Elliott. And all the way inside the 15 before they drop it. And one of the whistles for a timeout. So they'll stop the clock here in a game that's been decided in the closing seconds. Here's a 1st and 10 at the 14-yard line. On 1st down, it's Elliott. And he's brought down just outside of the 10 at the 11. And now we're going to get a timeout. Somewhat pointlessly called with 3 seconds to go in a game that's already been decided. 6 yards left on 2nd down.
Check right. 45. Mike, 45. What we got?
They'll try the right side with Elliott. And he takes it in for the score on the game's final play, so it doesn't affect the outcome. Put a little whipped cream on top to their ending.
Or as our friends in Bayou Country would say, that's a little lagniappe, a little extra on top.
Well, Charles, it's one thing to win. It's another thing to win and put up the amount of points that they did. Boy, were they clicking on offense.
They can't help but feel great about themselves, can they? I mean, what a game to put up that number of points, continually feel like they're moving the ball and things are working and clicking. They think that they can bottle this and carry it with them.
And as an offensive coordinator, you just don't think you can do anything wrong. Whatever you call, run, pass, it's all going to work.
That's called being in the zone.
So for Dallas, it's a win here in their home opener as they move to 2-0. And they will hit the road next week to take on the Seattle Seahawks. Meanwhile, for the Falcons, they'll drop to 0-2, and they'll get a chance.
Hey, yo. Yeah. Nike check. I done made about $1 million and I'm only 19. Icy water dripping on a white tee. And shorty got a man. Wife me. I got checks coming in like a pair of Nikes. If I like it, baby, know I'm finna get it. Get the bag and then I flip it. Watch me do it.
This player has a zone ability. This is a powerful ability that can be activated when the player can...
Gotta get the bag and racks every day. Don't tell me to relax, I can't. I'm saying, got a new Prestos and a Jason away. Got a new